The new me, the way I'm moving is like this. Everybody ain't gonna agree with me, but I don't want to make our disagreement the highlight of the fucking show. Smoke to me ain't the main thing no more. Hey, shout out to my little sister Sarada Amaru lighting this chat up red with that super chat, man. Let's clap it up, drop bombs for that. See this big red sticker right there? That's this little sis. Shout out to Sister Sarada coming through with that big boss super chat. And hey, we got more super chat. Shout out to my nigga Rom Ham. Hey, Rom Ham, thank you for your continued support, Rom Ham, and for all of the memberships on Flat Power. Even though they demonetized Flat Power, we gonna get our memberships back and we gonna keep them. What I gotta do is make my channels profanity free. And I got a new filter that I'm gonna put on my Streamlabs that when I curse, it'll bleep it out automatically. That is a lifesaver, nigga. AI, we appreciate you on that. You gonna cut all the N-words and all that, man. That's fire. I just gotta see how to use it right. Which one? I need help with that. Email me if you know anything about profanity blockers, like a filter to block profanity, and even using the new versions of Streamlabs, because I'm using the old stuff still. But yeah, let's drop the call-in link. Sister Sarada, thank you for the donation, for real. And to you, Rumham, thank you as well. And to AQ, I think, yeah, that says AQ. Shout out to AQ. Shout out to Rumham. AQ got the dude spinning around in the chair, so I'll do one for him real quick just for you, AQ. He sent in a super chat with the hippo spinning in the chair. Shout out to my nigga John. Salutes, John. We met in real life. A lot of y'all right here in Vegas with me. And yeah, we're waiting on people to show up for the call. It's amazing ain't no aboriginals gonna show up like with smoke, because they know they can't really debate this shit. What's up, my nigga Joshua? My nigga, what's good, bro?
What's going on, man? Peace and love.
Peace and love as always.
Fire build as always, man. I'm just calling in to show some love.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. I'm just at this little drone show with the fam, and I've been sitting here listening to the show while I'm here.
Yeah. You's a deep digger too, bro. They kind of quit sleeping on you, man.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I try, man. I like to listen, man, and learn. I don't speak much, but, you know, I'm always paying attention.
And that's how you get that wisdom, bro. That was me. And when you be a sponge at first and you absorb so much shit that now, like a sponge, I can't absorb no more. I got to squeeze some of this shit out now. You know?
Right. That's why I open my mouth sometimes, because I'm like,
yeah.
I got a lot. Let me say something.
Yeah, man. Hey, Santos,
I appreciate. I have a question though. Because that build yesterday was fire too, man. You know, shout out to Miss Storts.
Hell yeah, you know, Sophia, the goddess, yes, Sophia.
Man. Yeah, she a OG, and she definitely. I like how you were saying yesterday that a lot of people can't even think of the concept woke without having that in your brain. You know, the format she laid out, like that is the concept of woke, you know. And I like how she break it down, man. I don't know if you seen other little interviews of her, but she break down like where she got the concept from of like of her trying to tell the story of Jesus failing and basically saying like John Carter is Jesus, but what happened if he didn't do what he was supposed to do? You know, so I like that she told a different story. Like, you know, what would happen if Jesus couldn't save the people and he couldn't die for us?
But watch this though. I've been telling that to Christians from the beginning. Guess what I've been telling them? Because guess what my debate was about years ago before I even knew about Sophia. I had a debate with Christians and I asked them this, Joshua. I said, did Jesus come to save the world? And they said, yep. I said, now look at the world outside. Do you think he succeeded or failed?
Boom.
That's why Jesus got to keep coming back, because he keep failing.
Right, and that'll even help the simulation theory more, because that show he keep coming back to the simulation trying to, you know.
Sophia don't know how similar me and her is. That's why Joshua, folks was like, you didn't ask her about flat earth? Bro, we not trying to ruin this connect. Think about this now, what I'm doing with the flat earth community. We the only channel in the flat earth that still got a connection to like the Bart Sebrals, the fucking Sophia Stewarts, the goddamn, like, we're unique with the flat earth shit. And you know why it's like that? Because I don't alienate a lot of people from us with flat. I alienate too many people as it is. So when I get these big name people with the community that I know, because look, Santos, I know for a fact I can be in my own way sometime. My people donate good money to me. Shout out to Sarada once again. She said, salutes to the Oracle Sophia. That interview was fire, bro. That was quality content. See, that's what I'm saying. People support my shit because it's like, I'm a flat earther, but I'm a content creator. People not gonna donate to your shit if you got bullshit content. So one thing I said I'm gonna do is make sure I get 5 interviews for my people. I'm gonna always collaborate and bring on speakers. So part of me had to learn how to be an interviewer, how to interview people. Because I say I want my channel to be dynamic. I'm gonna entertain my people with interviews, debates, lectures, and that's what we got, solo presentations. When I'm not giving them solo presentations, we'll have a big debate scheduled for the channel, right? Like the Captain Tazaria. When I'm not doing that, I'm gonna have a big interview. But one thing I'm gonna do is stay a busy bee, earning this money that they donate to me. And that's gonna keep me bringing different shit to our community where we ain't never stagnant. You see, and what make this community so fire, people will send in a donation and be like, yo, have you heard of such and such? Interview such and such. Niggas send in $100 on Cashapp and say, interview such and such, this is his YouTube channel. So guess what I'm gonna do? I said, damn, bro sent in $100. Guess what I got to do now for that? So I don't feel like I'm ripping them off. I got to contact that YouTuber, reach out to him and say, hey, you want to do a show? One of my supporters told me about you and they thought that it would be a dope idea for me to do a show with you. I saw your channel. It's in alignment with mine and boom, boom, boom. So this keeps the community fresh. It keeps new faces, man. Listen, we shining in this shit, bro. We shining, bro.
And that's what makes the channel a great one. You know what I mean? Because we expect that. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I love the presentations. You know, that's kind of what would keep me. You know, I like to put on my Bluetooths and listen while I'm working and learn. You know. But we definitely appreciate them interviews, and you definitely, like you said, you try to get everybody, whether the community rock with them or not. We still want to hear minds, and still want to hear ideas, you know.
Yeah, that's why I got to give a big shout out to my nigga Vinny, and I need to hit him up because listen, we landed the Eric Dollar interview, we landed the motherfucking Laird Scranton interview, and my thing is, these people who don't agree with Flat Earth. But I got the interview for my audience because Eric Dollard is I don't give a fuck. See, and let me tell you another thing, Joshua. I debated Eric Dollard for a minute on Flat Earth, and I regret it. Cause it's hard to get him back. And my thing, what I was saying about Sophia, she's a Christian. Now, what if I would have debated her on Christianity? Tell me this, Joshua, wouldn't it would have ruined that interview?
Most definitely. I'm glad that the shape of the earth wasn't a topic, because that would have definitely did something.
Now, you feel me, my nigga, that we can still be a dope community and not convince everybody that the earth flat just because we know the truth, and that we can take from some of these. Because listen, Bart Sibrel is the expert on debunking the moon missions, but he ain't a flat earther. But a flat earther can take that nigga's arguments and go to town with him. Now tell me I'm wrong, Joshua.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
See, I think some people don't know how to take the just because we don't see eye to eye doesn't mean we gotta be against each other or be aggressive towards each other.
I messed up so much in the beginning being that way. You was around then too, Joshua. I'm pretty sure you was around then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the F everybody Sanchez. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Had to realize everybody ain't gonna be flat earthers, and that I'm alienating my community and my behavior and ego, trying to, cause that really what a cult is. Flat Earth ain't no cult, man. It's an awakening. And if you try to force the awakening on everybody around you, now you're making it a cult. And that's what I was doing. That's why I was telling folks, don't be so thirsty, nigga. Like, relax. Sometimes you'll wake a person up not even trying to. And you be trying to come at them on flat earth and reverse psychology. They know you a flat earther. If you don't say nothing about it, I bet you they say something first, because that happened to me a lot. Happened to some of y'all too. I learned that in life, like, everybody know I'm a flat earther. Why show up a flat earther? I'ma fuck they mind up, because I'ma show up like, what up, my nigga, man? What you think about the game last night? They like, wait a minute. Yeah, nigga, I'm a regular person too. You gotta act human with these people. They already, the media making them look at flat earthers like another species and shit.
That's why that approach is perfect, because like you said, it seems like when we walk in and start talking about the shape of the earth, they brush you off right away. But if you do how you do, where you break it down a little bit, you teach them a little something first, then you hit him with it, and they'll listen a little more.
Because these niggas be like, I know all these facts that's gonna make them a flat earther. No, you ain't. You gonna turn them off with all your facts. Because guess what? You showing up with just facts and you ain't finessing nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I told niggas, when you was out there dating these women, you knew all the game to say to get her, but you still dressed that shit up with a full package. You didn't go up right up to her like, let me get your number. You talked about something else and segued to the phone number. So the same thing with flat earth. Don't go right up with the flat earth shit, nigga. Ease your way into it, because that's the best. I've been doing this so long, I'm telling y'all I know what I'm talking about. So, you know, and why ain't nobody joining me and my brother Joshua? We might just do a tag team on y'all. Come on up, man.
Right. I would say a question, but it's just really on what your opinion on this concept. But so in the Matrix, when Neo meets the creator, when he meets God or the person who created, he explains to him that he was built into the program, that the one was built in, because they knew that the people that if he created paradise too lovely and too good, bad things will happen. So he had to make it so that you felt that you had a hard time in the simulation. And he explains that the one was programmed in the simulation because it helped the simulation, the concept of people thinking that they can get out, and thinking that there's someone who would save them, and he gives Neo the choice. He's like, all right, do you want to, do the simulation again, or do you want to wipe Zion out and then the simulation is over?
Mm-hmm. See what? Ooh,
So
bro,
that's why I was
go into
thinking,
that. Yeah.
About do you think that maybe free will could be programmed into us?
Bro, watch
Where's
this,
really
right?
not free will?
Watch this, right? Cause I went over what you saying, and I'm finna, nigga, that's why I fucks with you. Now watch this, Joshua. I'm gonna tell everybody listening to me, let's do an experiment. Close y'all eyes right now. I'm gonna close mine too. Close y'all eyes right now. Now picture a city like New York. Traffic everywhere. People crossing the road. Businesses going on, side markets. Y'all got it in your mind? Let me know y'all got it. Now watch this. In your mind, you animating this whole simulation. Right now, I got cars driving. Listen, I got cars turning right, left, and going through a four-way. I don't know what you picturing in your mind, but all of us is picturing this city right now. Booming with traffic, people going everywhere to work, doing all that. Now, in your mind, as you hold this thought, I'm going to ask you a question. The people moving around your little simulated universe in your mind, do they think that they got free will? Yeah, they do. Think about it. I'm having one thought in my mind right now of a city that's booming. Traffic, street vendors, I'm picturing it right now. Everybody that's in this thought in my mind, they think they got free will. But they don't know they just one single thought that I'm meditating in my mind, and that every action in that universe is connected by the thinker. It's one thought, not a bunch of people having different actions and they own free will. Now they think they got free will as they move around in my brain and go to work and clock into their little apartments. Each of these little humans in my mind right now think they got free will. But they don't. It's just one thought of God, which is me. That's what the earth is. This what's going on in a beehive too. All of them bees think they doing what thou wilt when they doing the will of the queen, which is the thinker. She's in the middle of the hive meditating. And that's why in the middle of let me show you something. In the Hindu cosmos shaped like a beehive. And in the middle of it is a meditating Buddha. I keep showing y'all that all the time with all the locusts, with the dude at the top meditating. He the queen bee. And that world is his mind that he's thinking, just like I just showed y'all. That's why God don't need water to make oceans. God don't need wood to make trees. God just uses mind, and light becomes everything in a holographic simulation like what you just made in your mind. We literally are inside of the mind of God. The darkness of God's mind is what we call in the firmament dome, this dark nut, this big, what you call in space, the darkness. Our universe is an explosion of light inside the dark mind of a thinker. And that's why God don't need wood to make trees or water to make ocean, because you can make a forest and an ocean right now. Close your eyes and do it. Now, where you got the wood from and water from? Out of yourself. This is our universe, y'all. Ain't no other explanations of how you get something from nothing other than what I just said. Ain't no other way. Hey, that's the only answer that satisfies it completely and say, oh, that's possible. Because I just did it. I ran a whole simulation in my brain, and I got people walking to work. Listen, it's not that I got to think for every individual. Close your eyes right now. Let's do it again. Let me show you something. Close your eyes right now. Back to our city, right? Listen, I don't got to control each human's actions. I just got to keep this thought meditating in my brain of a whole city and macrocosm. Close your eyes and do it again. You don't got to control the individual acts of every human in your brain. All you controlling is the single thought itself. And long as you meditate and hold that thought, it'll animate itself. That's why I keep telling y'all to do it. Close your eyes and do it. Think of a city that's just people going to work, all of that. Now, and my point is, you don't got to think for every individual in that city. You just got to hold a singular macrocosmic thought of the entire city itself. And it'll animate itself without you really doing a lot of work. All you really doing is holding the thought. The people gonna move around, the cars gonna go, and all that's gonna happen. The ants gonna be on the ground. You're doing that, but from a macrocosmic level, meaning you don't got to think about the ant on the ground making an ant bed. And you don't got to think about each individual going to work. You just got to think about the city. The city, singular. One thing, the city. And if I'm holding the thought of this city, everything else will play out. Is almost like automatically in my mind. It'll animate itself because the light of my own mind will animate it. That's why I told you to do that experiment. You will realize, yo, I'm not really telling that person to make a left. I'm not really making that cat cross the road. I'm just thinking of a city, and random things are just unfolding in the city in my mind, but I'm not even trying to make the random things unfold. I'm just thinking of a city. And all of that little stuff in micro is happening anyway, because what I'm doing in macro. Try it. Do it in your head. You'll see. All you thinking of is a city, and it'll animate itself. Almost all you doing is just holding the thought.
I think that kind of helps prove how strong of a computer your brain is, where you can see without seeing. You could, you could taste without, you could think of a taste and have that taste, in your system without actually having something in your mouth. Pause. So that just shows your brain is definitely capable of doing things without your body.
Yep. Yes. And the people in that city may say, do you think we got free will? Is there something controlling our actions? Well, I'm not controlling these people's actions directly. What I'm controlling is a macrocosmic thought of an entire city. And things are just seeming to unfold in that city in my mind that I can't even predict, even though it's my thought. Tell me I'm lying. How many of y'all just did this experiment with us? Did that happen in your mind too? See, I didn't know this car was going to make a right. I'm just thinking of a city with things going on, and I'm not really telling it what to go on. I'm just watching it my damn self in my own mind. I'm a spectator, and I'm just holding this macrocosmic thought of a city. Now, if I want to control the actions of one particular individual in that city, I will have to zoom in from the macrocosmic perception that I'm having of the city in my mind, where I'm neither one of the people, and focus on one person and say, I want this lady in this imaginary city to walk in this grocery store. But God ain't doing that though. God ain't zooming in into its own idea like that, controlling each individual. It's not. God is just the one maintaining the macrocosmic idea of the city. So do we got free will? Yes and no. Because God is controlling the macrocosmic, meaning it's keeping the city going. But no, because God ain't really zooming in and trying to steer each avatar in said city that it's pondering from a macrocosmic perspective, like I told y'all to do. So do we got free will? Yes and no. Because if God stopped having this thought called a city, it'll just vanish. And no one in the city will be able to exercise any microcosmic actions, because the macrocosmic idea of the city won't even exist no more. And that's the foundation of the hollow spirit simulation. So yes and no. And that's what make it a paradox. God ain't individually going in there and like I told you, think of a city. I didn't say think of a person. And when you thought of the city, you filled it with people. Each one was doing their own thing that you weren't controlling. Only thing you was controlling was the stage, the foundation for them to do it at. And that's what God is. That's why they call it the earth god, because all it control is just the stage, the foundation, but it's neutral. It's letting you work out your own individual microcosmic reality within this grand macrocosmic idea that God got. And I just gave you a good example and mental experiment on how to see how that is, and I hope that I achieved that,
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Another good one to do is how you was explaining to do it in your mind, but say something, like say hi or something in your brain, and you could tell if you yelled it. You could even distinguish what type of voice that voice said it inside without even saying. You know what I mean? Like you could yell it in your brain, and you could distinguish the yell and the whisper.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. That's most definitely. And what's so crazy, man, we don't even know how much we really remember, man. Like until somebody asks you something and you just pull it up in a second. Like when you say the brain is a computer, we're really Google. When we really, if we had the original environment that we was living in, man, they got children right now that they call human calculators, bro. And even though the world's so polluted, we still getting miracle babies. Now, what if the world wasn't polluted, nigga? Every last one of us would be a Google, a human calculator. It wouldn't be no phenomena with just special children that come here and they tapping into something we all had. Hey, man, let me say shout out to the OG, the Virgo. Let me say shout out to the Queen Demi, to Santos once again, Sacred No Ledge, and Yad, man. This is y'all call in for the people in the community, so I'm going to try to shut up more on this one and listen more. But salutes, y'all. Go ahead. Appreciate y'all.
Salutes.
Salutes, my brother.
Salute, my brother. Salute.
Big salutes to all of y'all. And we just gonna keep our call-in think tank going with good vibes and energy, where if you want to talk, just unmute and speak your mind. And we don't got no smoke, but honestly, I ain't looking for it. I mean, if it comes, it comes, but I know that we gonna have a good bill based on the stuff that I laid down earlier. So I'm gonna fall back and let the callers get it in, and I'm gonna keep dropping the link. Salutes.
I just have one question. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me clear?
Yep, we can hear you loud
okay,
and clear.
great.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
great. I just have a question. If there's a blackout and if there's no electricity, will AI be able to still continue without electricity?
It won't. It sure won't. It sure won't.
Ooh.
It won't. And that's the thing, man. See, the thing about the blackouts and even the Y2K scare, now that I'm woke, I always ask myself, if you got a soul in your body, why the fuck are you scared of a blackout? Like organic spiritual beings, we are sources of light. Think about a candle flame scared of the darkness. Goddamn candle flame scared of the dark. Don't even know wherever he go, he light it up. You will never be in darkness when you got a soul. And my thing is, the people who scared of blackouts, these are the archons and mankind. That was never a fear that we had as gods and goddesses. Like, we gotta stop acting like the fucking archons.
But it depends which AI and what kind of blackout, because I think certain AI has a lot of backup systems for that kind of thing,
But they saying if every technological thing on the earth shut down that would create the man-made energy grid, oh yeah, that'll be the end of AI.
Oh yeah, if we could find a way to really kill its power source, yeah, we could. That's how you could kill it. It'd just be hard to find a real because it's got redundancy. It's very advanced.
What? But what do you think of the concept of us being the AI and the sun being the generator, and we're just creating small versions of us, and that's what computers are?
Yeah.
Because that would be the source. You know, we are the ultimate computer. You know, so our source, wherever our source comes from, that projects our reality. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the cube theory, where they believe that Saturn is what's projecting our simulation, that black cube on Saturn, and that's why they all this cube worship and all that good stuff. So if humans are the ultimate computer, so we just create smaller versions of ourselves, and that's
it.
what, you know, a lot of people who believe in the AI, that, you know, that's kind of where it comes from. AI will create another version of itself, because everything your phone can do, your brain can do. You know, your brain, you know how you can be GPS. You know, your brain can map out the whole world. You know, and that's how GPS started, was by us mapping it and putting it in the program, and then, you know, they duplicate it.
You know what's so crazy?
So anything your phone can do, we can do.
That's facts. But look, here go the crazy thing too, right? Google don't remember it knows something till you ask it the question, and that's what your brain do. Your brain got so much information stored in it. If I say, well, how old was Michael Jordan when he entered the league? You'll forgot that you remembered that. Now, I want y'all to take a minute to think about what I just said, because that's a paradox, and I'm going to repeat it. You will forget that you remembered. I'm going to say that one more time. You will forget that you remembered something. Ain't that crazy? You forget that I remembered it. Like, that's a real paradox. And that's what happens every time you remember something. That, like, think about it. You remember Michael Jordan rookie year, for example, but you forgot you remembered it. And then when I ask you, then you say, oh yeah, it's this year. But until I asked you, you forgot it. It was back there somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is this right here. It is a computer. And what if I told you, right, check this out. All of the knowledge in the universe is in every single human brain. And all we got to do is activate it. That's what they calling the Akashic records. Every single action that ever took place in the universe was recorded within the firmament dome, and our mind and the firmament dome are one and the same. Check this out, right? I'm going to show you something, right? Remember earlier, right, I told y'all to think of a city, and I told you how God is pondering the universe from a macrocosmic state. From that state, God is the all-seeing eye. It sees every action that was ever taking place in that city that you thinking of in your mind. It's being recorded because it's in your mind. Now check this out. Everybody walking around in that city that's in God's mind, they got a mind too. And their little bitty mind got the same processing power and infinite energy that the thinker got in macrocosm. So when one of those little people walking around the city decides they want to tap into the creator's energy, they will know all the secrets of the universe, even though they was just born in it a few years ago, because they are projected thought of the one that's projecting the idea of the whole universe, and the creator ain't separate from that which it is pondering. This is why we made in the image of God, and we can access all the perks of the Most High. Because everything in our brain is a direct spinning image of what the firmament is. And my thing is this right here. All of the motions of every human inside that thought that's moving around that city, where are they getting the power from to move around? The thinker. but he ain't controlling their actions. He just laying a foundation and creating an idea for them to be in. You see what I'm saying? At any given moment, they can tap into the source of the whole idea. And at that point, every action that ever took place inside that thought bubble, they'll be able to know it just like the thinker. That's the Akashic records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the cloud is. I believe, man. I believe that just like I could send you a picture, and that picture is in the air. You know what I mean? That picture is in time and space or whatever, you know, our dimension is made of. But when I send you that picture is in the air, you know, and then you have a device that retrieves it from out of the air. So I definitely agree with the Kashyyyk records. It's up there somewhere. We just got to find a way to tap into it.
Meditation. Meditation is the way.
Yes, sir.
When he say meditation is the way, the root word of it is me. When I say I'ma do me, you do you, we think meditation is sent Indian style with your eyes closed. That's a good practice. That's called clearing your chakras. That's deeper. Meditation is a ritual you act out every day from the moment you wake up till you go to bed. Now look at all of the knowledge that I'm channeling with sacred geometry and syncretism. And I never sit Indian style and meditate. But guess what I'm always doing? Talking to myself in my own head. That's meditation. See, that's why they stopped the hippies from smoking weed and they had to try to make that through dispensaries. My thing is, nigga, the old weed that we used to smoke, it gave you way more creativity. And niggas used to stay up and think of all kind of just deep off the wall shit, nigga. I know, because I've been smoking weed a while, that because what made me start smoking weed was because it made me be more creative. And I know it did because I've been writing as a poet and rapping my whole life since I was like 13. And I've been smoking since 15. Now, that ain't nothing to brag about, but that's something that let me say I can tell you how this plant has changed over the years, and I got authority to speak on that because I'm a walking experiment of it. But what I'm saying is that old weed made niggas more creative. It made you laugh more, and you also got the munches more too. Cause I even look at my old pictures, I weighed more. A lot of my old pictures, my eyes was red as hell, my face was fat, I was a little chubby. And that was that old weed. This new weed different. I ain't gonna cap. But check this out, nigga. What I'm saying is meditation is anything you got to do to get yourself at your more relaxed state. For some people, it's burning an incense. For some people, it's getting in a hot tub. For some people, it's smoking a blunt. For some people, it's a glass of wine. Whatever you got, because listen, we do the best critical thinking in a relaxed state. So that's why when an emergency situation happens, guess what they say? Calm down, breathe. Even though the goddamn building on fire, they telling you relax. And you like, what the fuck? Hell no, nigga, I ain't relax. But guess what? They telling you right though. Cause now you gonna do some panic shit and die quicker. Your mind gonna give you what you need to do to get you out that situation, but you might not use your mind if you act on impulse out of fear and panic energy. So that's what meditation was. When the body is in the most relaxed state, it can channel the deepest thoughts from the universe. And for some people, it's in Indian style like Buddha. But you can actually edit that position. It ain't no right or wrong position for meditation. That's something you really need to know.
But that position is what helps create the vortex, because the energy moves well in that position.
Now, I will agree with you on that.
Yeah, in the triangle.
Well, yeah, I will agree.
Triangle.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. But what I'm telling them, Sacred, if you're not comfortable in that position, Start with whatever position you comfortable in and work your way to the Buddha position. Because I ain't gonna lie, if you can't sit Indian style with a straight back and be comfortable, it's because they fucked our posture up and our health ain't right. Because in my opinion, everybody should be able to get in a meditation pyramid Buddha position, and you should be at peace and comfortable. Because if all of our ancestors sat like that and they was comfortable, when you sit like that and you ain't comfortable, that means we got to work on our flexibility, yoga, posture, and all that, you know.
Exactly. That's why they have like positions for people who, even for pregnant women or for elders that can't sit like that, you know. But when you meditate,
go ahead.
now you go ahead.
I had to buy me a meditation chair where I can fold my legs up, and the way the chair is structured, you can sit in the lotus pose. But, you know, it's still exercise got to take place too. But I'm like you, Sanchez. If you can find yourself in a tranquil place, you could be sitting on the toilet. You could be mowing the yard. You can be doing other things. When I was in Cambodia, I went to this temple where the Buddhist was laying down, meditating. So it's all different ways of doing it. But, you know, the thing is going into the inner dimensions. You know, that's where you want to go at, you know.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I definitely think you can meditate while you're doing stuff too. You really don't have to be still. You know, you could, for example, for me, I could work and still, while I'm working, still meditate, still think, still, you know, go over ideas in my head while I'm working. You know, on autopilot. You know, you just got to be able to tap in.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's so deep about that? What we think is actually us moving backwards is us moving forward. Because think about this, right? If we had mastered meditation in the past, think about this. When a Buddha meditated, he would have to stop everything he doing, go in a little dark spot, sit Indian style, and leave the earth. To me, that's the kindergarten version. I think we got so advanced with this shit that we was able to multitask like supercomputers, to where the Buddha don't got to be in darkness just laying there asleep to experience another world. That Buddha, right? Because I do this sometime. This an old gift. I'm going to share some with you, right? Like the Virgo said, right? I grew up landscaping. So when I'm doing my yard, I'm at fucking peace, man. The sound of the lawnmower, the smell of the cut grass is like, dude, if I set it, this is more to me more comfortable than laying down. And it's like I'm not even cutting the grass. It's like I'm outside of my body and my lawn, my grass cutting itself. And I'm able to be in my mind and just not think about nothing but the grass. But I'm not even thinking about the grass because I've been doing this my whole life. I can do this with my eyes closed. So this so therapeutic, is like a form of meditation for me to mow the lawn. Real talk, and I literally be out my body. It's like I'm all over the place in my mind, and I look up and, oh, the grass cut. Who did that? And I'm serious, it sound crazy. But my thing is like, that's a gift, because I believe our ancestors got so good that they was able to leave their body while they washing dishes, for example. Like, let's say your grandma, hold on, we want to hold on, I'm gonna land here. Let's say your grandma washing dishes in the kitchen. Guess what? You think that she thinking about them dishes? Man, your grandma way out of her body somewhere else in her mind, and her body just standing there washing the dishes on autopilot, nigga. Muscle memory. She ain't even in that body washing them dishes. She just went to that dishes to meditate, because like my grandma, that's how they escape. They do little chores and shit. And man, they do it so much that once they go over the sink and do it, they body just start doing it, and they can go somewhere else in their mind. And that really is a deeper gift than just, I got to go in my closet and stop my actions Now I can keep doing something in this world while multitasking in another world. That's like daydreaming. That's like sleepwalking. And this is a whole nother advanced layer of meditation that we waking up into while we thinking we got to really be in a dark in an Indian style setting. So that can be a theory too, you know.
Right. And the gurus say that people that can do that really easy, get into a meditative state really easy without even having to meditate, it's because they in past lives had lives where like they spent their whole life meditating. They've had past lives where they were yogis and they were meditating, and that's why they're already in a sattvic state. Because what we're talking about is ceasing the brain waves, like stopping the fluctuation of the brain waves, the modulation of the brain waves. So that's what real meditation is. So when you get in the zone and your brain waves stop, your thoughts stop, your thoughts slow down to the point where if you can get it to zero, that's when you're like, you get into this bliss state. But yeah, it's about, and so what you're talking about is you're able to do that naturally, just like calm the mind down and not have so many, most people's minds is racing. They can't stop it, you know, and they're a slave to their thoughts.
Yep. And that's why going to sleep is the ultimate form of meditation, because guess what it all boils down to? There's a part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, the PFC, prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is what's saying, I gotta pay bills, my light bills due, I gotta be at work tomorrow. In other words, the PFC is your whole earth body, Neo in the Matrix, the simulation, the hamster on the wheel, the rat race outside. Now listen, don't you know smoking weed actually does damage to the prefrontal cortex? And that people who smoke weed, when they say they trying to escape reality, that's the part of our brain that we really kind of shutting down and fucking up. The part of us that make you worry about shit. That's why they said, hit the blunt, nigga, and fuck the light bill. You know, they joke about that, but it's a science behind it. Now, let me share something with you. The prefrontal cortex don't start to develop till late in life. That's why children don't worry about bills and shit. The children don't worry about all of the hamster on the wheel shit that the adult worry about. That part of the brain developed right when we get 18, right when we send them what? Into the world. Look at how deep that is. The part of your brain that got you connected to the simulation, the hamster on the wheel, that don't develop to around about 18 and all that, and that's when you start working and shit. Tell me that ain't crazy. That's when you enter the world. And that's when you develop the same mentality that keep your parents not seeing the truth with the hamster on the wheel concept. And we keep passing this shit down, slavery. So look, but I was saying all that to say, Virgo, and I'm gonna land here. I'm not promoting weed. I'm saying that Papa Lekba stayed with a blunt in his mouth. A lot of the peace pipe in Mesoamerica, they try to tell y'all the Indians was smoking tobacco. Nigga, everybody know what was in that peace pipe. The same shit that the hippies was burning. That good old homegrown, nigga, quit playing. That's what make niggas stop fighting. That's why they call it a peace pipe. Let both of them niggas hit the blunt and they ain't gonna fight each other no more. They gonna be hungry and laughing, thinking about deep shit. So people don't realize that these people in power don't care nothing about us. So if the people in power say marijuana is illegal, mushrooms are illegal, but guess what though? Kool-Aid legal. Potato chips legal. Did you know that a honey bun is more deadly than a blunt, nigga? See, a lot of shit that's legal in America is banned in other countries, but guess what ain't banned in them other countries? Mushrooms and herbs and marijuana. That ought to make a red flag come up on your head. When we know these people don't care about us and the shit that they give you is poison and the shit that they take from you is medicine and healing. So the only thing I'm saying is when a person talk about connecting with the Akashic records, a lot of the shit that high ass niggas saying when they intoxicated be the truth. Cause these people are using substances that's making them disconnect from their prefrontal cortex. And that's when they can think outside the box, because guess what? The box is the prefrontal cortex. The part of you that's just only worried about money, capitalism, paying the bills. That's the part of you that said, if the earth flat, what does it matter, man? I still gotta go to work tomorrow. That's the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of you that says, why think outside the box? I'm just trying to get money and feed my family.
Here are the first three. Eliza Taylor, George Puller, and
Santos, I don't know if you trying to share audio with everybody, but you coming on hot with the background. I don't know if it's on purpose or not.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That was definitely on accident.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. I'm just saying, a lot of these drug movement, LSD, the psychedelics with Jimi Hendrix and them, these was opening up portals into other realities that they had to stop that. This is a CIA operation. They found out when they put certain drugs out there, it created certain music genres. And you don't just pull out a whole music genre out of your ass. I'm a musician. The only way you can get this new swag and this new groove and vibe is in the astral plane. It's hard to just come up with a whole nother music style that don't exist. I'm telling y'all right now why musicians do a lot of drugs, nigga. When I'm very fucked up, like when I was in the studio, nigga, and we'll be drunk as hell, high as hell, you will actually make some shit that's out of this world, nigga, than when you were sober. And you will listen to that shit back like, nigga, I made that shit. It's like a drunk nigga said, yo, I was doing all that. He was outside of, he was under the influence of a whole nother, it wasn't even him in that body, damn near, with these mind altering substances. See, this was the shit they call witchcraft. I'm serious, the word drug is what the root word of dragon is. Like, they literally said that the people who was breathing the fire out their mouth was the smokers, the smoke. You know how they said a dragon breathe a fire out his mouth? I'm not making this up, nigga. I'm a dragon. I'm like Papa Lekba with my pipe, and you, nigga, my mind is damn near always in an altered state. Now, people may say that nigga drunk, he high, but who can really give you the shit I'm giving you? Like, if you went up to the sensei in the jungle, the moment they walked you in front of the guru, you wouldn't even be able to see that nigga. You know why? It'll be just a big smoke cloud. They'll have to fan the fucking smoke away for you to see the Buddha. Cause that nigga stay burning incense and herbs and shit to alter his mind. That's why he can take you on a trip. He can say, here, take this and smoke that. You want to go out your body? That's what shamanism was, nigga. Don't let them tell y'all no. See, they make y'all think that, you know, these drug users and shit are just junkies and all that and crazy people. But let me tell you something. You see a person under the influence of a substance, and you see them talking the shit that ain't there, punching at the wall, and you like, that's a crazy man. Guess what, nigga? Our ancestors would have actually gave you an ambrosia and elixir to create that altered mind state and let you see shit that you think ain't there and talk to voices that ain't there. And guess what the ancestors knew? Everything you said, it was real. That the voices you heard was, now we are starting to go into an alternate reality. Let me tell you something. Our ancestors didn't have no separation between the layers of reality and the dead and the living. Because I'm telling you right now, nigga, it's certain drugs out there that'll make you see your grandma if you take that motherfucker. And folks will say he losing his mind, he tripping, he saying his grandma and she dead. Guess what? That nigga ain't losing his mind, he finding it. We misusing these drugs. Don't you know that the people we calling drug addicts was the first astronauts? These were the people that volunteered to go out of their body with controlled substances to induce alternative mind states to see the other side. And they will come back and bring back new music genres, new concepts that don't exist here. How you think they created psychedelic music with psychedelic drugs? How you think they created screwed up music with sipping on scissor, nigga? If you didn't give them drugs, they wouldn't have made that music. The drug literally give us the new vibration that we make on the beat, nigga. Because if I'm not high, my beats won't even have the vibe they got. And a nigga that's making screwed up music, if he ain't sipping no syrup making it, it won't even have the right bounce to it, the right feeling to it. That's why Juice WRLD was so hot. He was really using them drugs that he was rapping about. And that was what was giving the feeling in his music that y'all like. If he would have did it sober, you wouldn't have bought the shit. So the man died channeling energies with substances. And now I'm not gonna go too deep with that with y'all, because a lot of folks ain't ready for that right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know what I do when I do it, when I'm drinking, when I'm smoking, and I know how much to do and what state I'm trying to get to do what I'm trying to do. I don't misuse drugs don't use me. I use drugs. And a lot of things we call drugs ain't drugs, like it's a fucking plant. Our ancestors went walking through the jungle saying, look at that drug growing over there. They were saying, look at that herb, nigga. If you eat that bitch, it can alter your mind and let you see shit from the other side. That's a perk. Earth got little shit on the earth that lets you do little cheat codes. And mushrooms, weed, ambrosias, alcohols, and spirits, that's what we used it for. This shit always been around. We just ain't using it for the right thing now. You got niggas on all these new drugs and shit, and they making new kinds of music with this new drug that's really promoting the dark side. But the plant life, the herbs promoted the good side. But these new cats with the new music is laboratory drugs. So they connecting with demon time, robots, computer, synthetic shit. We was on the real herbs from the ground, and that was like on some hippie kumbaya type vibes. They had to get rid of that. But yeah, we gonna get on that too, but y'all go ahead, yeah.
I think Rastafarianism comes straight from Hinduism, because look at the ragas with the dreadlocks in India. They got the big long dreadlocks, and they got the Ganga River, Ganga River, and they got ganja, and they the whole actually Haile Selassie was a yogic master. People don't know that he studied yoga. So like that's where the whole thing comes from, yoga, from Hinduism, Rastafarianism, one love. They're all about the oneness and the light. You know, there's a lot of similarities. And they smoke weed, so like they go up in there and they meditate with weed. You know,
yeah.
Crazy.
But the whole thing is like Masons don't do the Hiram Abiff ritual without elixirs, nigga. Let me tell you something. See, all of these substances is being misused. And that's why we got a drug epidemic and addict problem on the earth. Because everybody that's using drugs, guess what them is? Them the first astronauts. Them the spirits on the earth. Guess what they say about all the drug users? They say they trying to escape the earth, man. They trying to escape from reality. But guess what the people that's saying that don't know? This ain't reality. They trying to escape from the simulation. Now, deep down inside, now watch this, right? Everybody you see out there addicted to drugs, they will say the same thing. That person trying to escape the earth, they trying to just escape. The original astronauts was trying to do the same thing. And how did they get high? Listen what I'm saying now. They wanted to go to the stars. They wanted to get high now. I'm telling you that the original astronauts was under controlled substances and they volunteered to consume certain ambrosias and elixirs to see the other layers of reality, nigga. And that's why the people today that know the secrets, nigga, trust me, they using all kind of shit. They using all kind of shit, bro.
It's crazy you say that because I've been studying trying to learn a little Greek, and this this lecture I was watching, the guy explains that some of our early text on medicine comes from the Greek, and the word Christ is has Greek origins that means it means being in a state of like drowsy, like being high, basically. Like they described every time the word Christos it was used more in Greek medicine manuals than the actual Bible. And the word antichrist originates from being an antidote. So when they would say antichrist, they were basically saying like this is what can counter that effect, the Christ effect, you know, because Christ, the word Christ was like being high, like, oh, bro on Christ, look at him. You know, they used it in that term before it was given to Jesus, you know, as a title. It was known as a state of mind, as being under some type of influence.
This is big facts, and that's why they don't just call it Christ, they call it Christ consciousness. That's fact, Santo.
Yeah, and that's where antichrist comes from, because then it's the counter, you know, that it was the antidote though.
The antichrist bring you down, Christ bring you up. And so
Yes,
getting
sir.
high, when you get high and you get raptured by Christ, that's basically you taking a substance to get out of the body. And the whole thing about Christ being the most high, it's a joke I always tell, that the nigga that's really in the most altered mind state, that's the highest nigga, and he really see the truth in that altered state. Like he really the most high that can see the other side when that nigga is on a mushroom trip. It's really crazy.
And Santa Claus and Christmas is all about the Amanita muscaria mushroom, where the shaman put the mushroom in the bags and hung them on the trees to dry them out, and put them in stockings and put them over the fire to dry out the mushroom. And then the mushroom grows at the bottom of carnivorous trees, which are pine trees. So that's why you put the red and white Christmas ornaments on the trees, and also the red and white presents under the tree, because Amanita muscaria mushrooms are red with white dots on them, like the Smurfs. It's the most powerful mushroom. Yeah, and it grows up in Siberia, up by the North Pole. So it's all about, you know, and the Siberian shaman dress up in red and white, and they go to the yurts to get snowed in, and so they have to enter through the chimney to help. And then they distribute the mushrooms to all the villagers, and they like kind of guide them through the experience. So like they enter through the chimney with a bag full of mushrooms. So it's all about, people don't know about that one, but it's crazy. They get pulled by reindeer, by caribou, which are reindeer on sleds. And sometimes the reindeer eat the Amanita muscaria and start running around and jumping around. So that's where you get the flying reindeer. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a deep one. That's a good.
But do y'all think we can reach that state without any drugs or anything?
Yeah, I do. I think that the drugs were a way to help you get there, you know, in a sense of, you know, some people can't meditate. You know, I know there's times that I could easily meditate and leave my mind, and there's times that my mind races everywhere, and it's impossible for me to sit, and you know, so I think that a lot of this stuff was just a way to aid you to get there, you know?
Think about what I'm about to say. Now listen, you say the mushrooms and herbs was just to aid us, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all to look at it differently than that. And just hear me out a minute. Look at it this way, right? Our ancestors didn't ban no plants. Anything that was edible in the jungle, it was part of their diet. In the Garden of Eden, we didn't eat animals. So every plant that we can eat and it filled our belly up, it was part of the diet. Now let me explain something to you. You gotta just think about it. If all of us was in the jungle now and we was basically eating salads every day on some Garden of Eden shit, we would be multi-dimensional beings that is always in an altered mind state out of our body with 1 foot on the earth realm and 1 foot in the astral realm. And to us, that's just would have been a normal mindset because we wouldn't have known that some of them mushrooms we put in our salad is causing our mind to trip. We would have just ate the plants every day around us. You see what I'm saying? So we want to think about what I'm saying though. A lot of shit we saying is aiding me to get out of my body. It was part of your everyday diet. So the concept of being out of body was a normal concept to an ancient person. They walked this earth in an altered mind state, basically with 1 foot in this reality and 1 foot on the other side. And that was normal to, in other words, all they knew was being high off shrooms. And to them, it was being normal because they was eating damn near every plant that was edible. And they wouldn't have known that this one mushroom that I put in there until later when they figured it out, like, yo. And then they would have said, look, if we take this particular mushroom out of our salad, it will change the part of you that's giving you that Christ consciousness that you just spoke of. That's the Antichrist. So think about it. If you take all of these ingredients out that salad that's making your mind trip and go up to the heavens or be raptured up with Christ consciousness, then we can ground you to the earth. And that is the first beginnings of the modern world nutritious pyramid. It don't got ayahuasca on it and amanita. And that's a problem because if you look at the ancient world, they ate these kind of mushrooms that they ban today every day. It wouldn't even no such thing as, hey, this mushroom is a Amanita muscaria. It's going to get me out of my body. It was like, no, we've been eating this mushroom for years in my tribe, and it tastes good. And the way we think, this just how we've been think about what I'm saying, right? If you was raised in a family that smoked weed every day from the moment you were a baby, instead of them giving you a baby bottle, they give you a blunt even as a baby, nigga. I'm just saying. Ever since a baby, you've been getting high. You in a Rasta family, right? It won't be getting high to you. It's just normal to you. Like this altered mind state that come from marijuana, it'll be normal to you. To somebody else that just hit the blunt for the first time, they'll be like, oh shit, I'm tripping, nigga. I was in another world. I saw all kind of shit. But to a baby raised in a Rastafarian family, he'll say, nigga, my mind was like that the moment I was, nigga, my mind was like that since I was 2. Like, nigga, that's normal to me. You just peeking into my world for a little bit when you hit the blunt one time. But nigga, my mind been under this shit since a baby. Like this other side that you're talking about, I was high, I went on a trip. Nigga, that's my regular everyday mind. I don't really leave the trip. You come and go from the trip. But I take this shit every day. I'm never coming down. I'm so high. It's up and it's stuck. It's normal to me. That's what I'm telling you what the ancestors were, man. They didn't have a concept of getting high. It was normal to them to be in the stars. They had a concept of coming down. Like today we got a concept called getting high. But in the ancient world, the concept was, oh, he getting down, because everybody was high. Everybody was in an alternate mind state that was other than this reality, because this ain't a real world. Everybody was doing something to keep them connected to the base reality in the sky, or to stay high, to escape reality. And coming down would have been looked at as unusual, because they walked around in this mind state normally. So when you came down, people said, oh, that nigga getting down. Today, when you go up, they say he getting high, because people don't really go up there like that today. If y'all see what I'm saying.
Totally. I felt the craziest
I see
feeling.
it.
Go for it.
Nah, go ahead.
And I also experienced something crazy one time that only had I experienced through high doses of MDMA or LSD or like whatever, DMT. I experienced it when I went to the ashram. But yeah, that state is what some, like, if you're like one of the master meditators, they walk around in that bliss state all day long and shit. And I'm not saying that they didn't do that. What you're saying is not true. I'm sure they had all sorts of crazy things going on, but they were like elevated in so many different ways. They're not like today. Like, they could have been from drugs, but it could have been natural. It could have been from their technology. It could have been all sorts of shit.
But yeah, that's what I think, that Earth was so tranquil back in the day, man, that, like brothers was saying, that they was up in the astral planes, in the mental plane, in the Buddha plane. They was everywhere. You know what I mean? And I think that's why they could build the things they did after the resets and stuff like that. Because I've been to Angkor Wat, I've been to Chichen Itza, I've been to Teotihuacan, I've been to Cozumel, and that's what I wanted to say about the bill earlier. When I went to Cozumel, I went snorkeling, and when I went down, it was like a Chinese statue at the bottom, and I was like, "This is in Mexico. How the hell that is?" And it was just like, right then, it was like I had an aha moment, saying that these people don't travel all over this world before Columbus. And the thing is, we don't know, and they're keeping us from that knowledge, because I believe all of us, even in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, they got a casino called Naga Casino. Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Check it out. And when you were saying that all of us at that empire at that particular time, I think all of us was, I think the whole world was involved with it. I really do. Because to reach the astral planes and the higher planes of existence is a thing they will have to do in order to build the structures and the pyramids and the architects. It's just amazing. And one thing I had to say too, when you were showing the star forts, I went to, you can do it, check it. Go to St. Augustine, Florida. They got a star fort there. Then later on that year, I went down to Acapulco, Mexico. In the Bay of Acapulco, they got a star fort exactly like the one in St. Augustine. And both of them is by water. That's all I gotta say.
And you know what? You know why them serpents is by water? Because this is that water serpent that I was saying earlier. And I'm finna show him to you real quick since we talking about him. Let me see if I can screen share real quick. Hold on. This goes back to today's bill. Let's throw back up some slides, man, and get it in. Hold on a second, though. That water serpent he talking about, here we go. This serpent is in the Mayan and Mesoamerican underworld. And if you look at it, this serpent rise up and out the water, devouring the souls of man. This is the serpent in the tree of life that the Bible talking about. See, this is what the serpent does to you. It eats you up. Look at what the serpent does to you. If people want to know what happened to Adam and Eve, they got gobbled up by the serpent. The serpent said, I'm going to teach you the knowledge of God. And to do that, it got to eat you up. That's why they said Saturn eat up the babies. Because this man is personifying a sperm cell. But it's entering this earth monster. Let me show you something. Here's the earth monster. He got his mouth open, ready to devour the man. And his mouth is Saturn rings. They said Saturn eats up man. See, let me show y'all something. Here go the European version of Saturn eating the man. But this is new. This just came late, man. Here go the oldest version. Saturn is Satan, the serpent. It comes from Mesoamerica. The Aboriginals ain't gonna get this deep, y'all. They've been trying to censor this community for a long time. But if you look at this serpent, it got spikes on his head. Guess what? That's the Statue of Liberty, man. This serpent is the Statue of Liberty. Look at the blue. Look at that color blue. You think that this serpent is the exact same shade blue that the Statue of Liberty is, and it's a coincidence, and it got the spikes around it too? This is the same god of Babylon with the mouth wide open. This serpent here represents Sarlacc, the earth monster, Saturn, Satan. It was all over Mesoamerica and the Khmer Empire. And this right here is why I'm telling the Virgo, when he was in Mexico or whatever, he went under the water and saw an Asian structure. What else do we see in Asia? Serpents everywhere. Watch this. They do it all year round. Every year they do it. The Asian people put their body in a serpent. Look at how many serpents that is right there, y'all. Count them out. Let's count them. Come on. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see that? Now let's go and pull up the Statue of Liberty. Because remember, the Bible talked about a great beast rising up out the sea. And what people don't know is the Statue of Liberty is the great serpent Satan. Count the spikes on the head while it's rising up out the sea. How many spikes we got? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 spikes. It's not a coincidence. 7 chakras. The great beast that's rising up out the water, that's a computer. And what we said earlier, our brain is a computer. So why am I bringing that up, though? If you look at the Statue of Liberty Island, right? Don't you know that the entire Statue of Liberty Island is based upon our brain, and that the Statue of Liberty torch that he holding is the white light of the soul in the middle, the pineal gland, because the brain is 70% water, and the dry spot in the middle of this water is that white light right there, represented by Lady Liberty in the middle. She's like Moses, making the waters stand back. You see what I'm saying? Because all that water stopped right there. And just like Moses splitting the sea, she break the waters with this island and create a dry spot in the Hudson Bay here. And see, Moses is holding up that torch with his robe on. Let's pull up Moses, right? Y'all gotta see, man, this shit's crazy, because look, watch this. I'm gonna show you the island. The island that the Statue of Liberty is on, they made it It's a man-made island with the Lady Liberty right there in the middle to symbolize the pineal gland in the middle of the brain. This is facts. And I'm finna show you, man. So check this out. Boom, the torch is burning. That represent the white light in the brain. And see, that's why she holding this white light in the middle. Surrounded by the water, she's an island, standing, rising up out the water, boom. That's your consciousness exiting out the sky vault right here. That's why she emerging from the water like Saturn. I showed y'all the image of Saturn coming up out the water. This the great beast, seven-headed beast that's rising up from the water in Revelation. Because the moment America became a country, that was a countdown to the end right there. We've been in the Revelation time. So check this out, the connection between Asia and America. They all worship the serpent and they all worship the cow. So even in Asia and America, the cow is sacred. In India and all that, the serpent and the cow. Because again, it was an ancient world union where everybody shared these same concepts of the earth monster, Saturn or Satan, gobbling up the soul of man. This is a man entering a computer, but they personifying a computer as a dragon that's eating you up. That's just all that is.
Remember Jim Morrison, what I was talking about, the dragon, ride the snake, and all all the world's history were little pictures on the scales. That sounds like he's talking about a computer to me, because it saves everything on files, you know? Crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The reason they got Saturn eating up the body of man, let me show you something. It go back to Star Trek. When our ancestors learned how to travel the stars with beam out the body technology, brain computer interfaces, this is why Saturn will eat up your body. It's just telling you advanced technology they was using when they stood in Saturn. Is this ring or this halo system. This is how Jesus left the earth. See, when Jesus, if you look at Jesus on the cross, right? Watch this. They got the sky opened up above his head. The sky being opened up, that portal that you see, what Jesus is personifying right there in the sky, is no different than Star Trek is a real deal truth, nigga. I ain't making this up. This Star Trek shit is real. This is how we was tracking the stars, by beam me up technology. Getting the Enterprise is your body. But when they beam off of the ship onto the planet, that's really meditation, out of body experience. So look, you got to understand this right here. When they stand in the middle of that circle, that's what Saturn is doing. You see above their head, the halo, the sky vault open. This is how Jesus get to go. They said Jesus can be anywhere and everywhere. Ain't no limits to Christ. Jesus can travel all times and ages. Jesus can be talking to you now and disappear and be in a whole nother area. What technology Jesus using? Because whatever technology Jesus using is bathing him in light. So this is what you got to go to. That's why Jesus got a white robe on when he leave the earth and ascend up through that portal. This Star Trek shit real, man. This is how we leave the Enterprise, which is the Earth realm, and travel to other worlds outside this Earth Vamana that we call in the Enterprise. This technology been used, they still using it. So, once again, right, when they talk about Saturn gobbling you up, it's because if you look at all of these people that's beaming up, it looks like they're being eaten up. like some is gobbling them up. So put it this way, right? Beam me up. This concept that we see in movies of the UFO ship hovering above a person and beaming them up, that's why they wear the cowboy hat in America. When they wear the big cowboy hats, that's an old spiritual system of this whole UFO concept of like a UFO ship over your head or some shit. A big sombrero, and they got the that's Saturn, like the planet Saturn. That's the whole UFO shit, but the whole Saturn shit is Satan, the earth realm. Saturn is Satan. So, but remember this now. If you look at the UFO ship and you standing on the ground looking up into the UFO ship, you gonna see a bunch of rings, man, spinning around. That's why Saturn or Satan with all the rings and the UFO ship concept, it looks the same. Now check this out, right? When they said at the earth that Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, right? The Greek god, right? But what I'm showing y'all here is that when you look at this Star Trek shit, Saturn represents how the soul travels the solar system through the star. Like we are astronauts when we dream. We're projecting our consciousness to other alternate realities. You know what I'm saying? And this is really what space travel was before they stopped it and dumbed it down, though, with the fucking NASA and all that. And act like dreams ain't real and shit, nigga. Don't you know if dreams weren't real, you wouldn't have wet dreams? People busting nuts when they sleep and holding their breath when they fucking underwater. This is the Freddy Krueger shit. Like, the mind does not distinguish between a dream reality and a real reality. The ancestors knew that because dreams are alternative realities. Now, what's the root word of reality? Real. Dreams are real. This right here is explaining why sleep apnea is in the top 5 #1 causes of death, even though we got all this technology. That you know sleep apnea was still in the top 5, top 10 causes of death in the world? Because that's Freddy Krueger, nigga. They don't want us to know that the dream world is real. Your body is reacting the same way it will in real life when it's in a dream. That's why when you falling in a dream, you wake up with butterflies in your stomach. They don't want us to know this though. So people just literally fall, they dying in they sleep dreaming some crazy shit, and they say it's sleep apnea, which is the medical term for Freddy Krueger just got your ass and we ain't telling you the truth about reality.
And that's the truth that I never thought about what Star Trek is disclosing there, because they always disclose something major in every major thing. That's probably, they had it all mastered back in the day, that whole, what they're doing right there, going places, and you know, they had that shit mastered. You know they did.
You know the nigga who thought a Star Trek had to get out of his body, and then he made the Enterprise shaped like a female uterus. That's crazy.
That part. Exactly, and like the dope, like the center of the plane too. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, they had to, that's what I tell people. They had to know all of this in order to hide it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or to dumb us down from understanding it and keeping it in the inner circle and not letting it get out into the outer circle. That's what I think. They knew how to do all this before they hid it.
And cause think about it, right? Let's pull up the Enterprise too. Because guess what the word prize is? Prism. Remember what we've been teaching? Light gets trapped in a prism. Prism is prison. The Enterprise, when you enter the prism, the earth realm, which is the Vimana. And this is what it is. What is the word matrix? Womb. Now look at the Enterprise, which is when your soul entered the prism of the earth. Check this out, right? Now look at the female uterus. When the sperm, see right here, look, this is what they turned into the Enterprise Star Trek ship. A blind man can see that. Look at that. Think about this, right? The Star Trek is the esoteric science of the sperm entering the egg. It's the Star Trek members entering the Enterprise. Now check this out, right? You never noticed this? In the Star Trek series, they never go to Earth. Star Trek, what I like about Star Trek is simply a bunch of people trekking the stars forever throughout the whole series. They never, this Earth ain't even a setting. The Enterprise ship is the main setting. Now, guess why I'm breaking that down to you? The Enterprise ship represent the Earth realm. Guess what? Earth is the base point projection. That's why from the Enterprise ship, think about this, right? When on Star Trek, when they see a planet that they want to go to and walk on, why don't they just land the Enterprise ship on that planet and get out the ship? They don't. Guess what they do? They dock and orbit that planet and teleport onto the surface of it. Why? Because this Star Trek shit is really telling you about conception, childbirth, how the sperm enters the egg and transform to a human. That's teleportation, the light becoming flesh, and then now you can walk onto the earth as a man. But you started as a spark of light called conception. That's when on Star Trek, when they're teleporting, when they're in this phase right here, let me show you. That's the sperm cell phase. You a whole ball of light, dude. That's how I know that the universe is holographic, light appearing physical. Nothing that's physical can maintain its physical form. We all gotta die. That's teleportation. That's the light fading away. And the only thing real is the light. It's not the shape that the light is forming into. That's like holography. If you form light into an elephant, the elephant ain't real, but the light real. That's the light acting like an elephant. That's a holographic elephant. So we ain't really humans. We're just pure light appearing as humans holographically. That's why we can't maintain this form forever. We got to go back to the light. That's what Star Trek showing you here.
But don't you think they reverse engineered that technology and started messing with it and like using it, and then maybe even created AI, and we got too advanced and we screwed ourselves. That's how God punished us for being or some shit. Maybe, I don't know.
What happened was they did reverse engineer this shit in Babylon and Egypt. They cheated death. But check it out, though. What happened was millions of years ago, humans reached the height of technology, and they was more advanced than we are today. And they cheated death. They created wormholes and stargates and alternative realities, and we're in one of those worlds and alternative realities now. Now, the whole thing about this, right? When you say they trapped themselves or something went wrong or whatever, you're right. What happened was they had an ancient transhumanism era that took place in Egypt and Babylon where man merged with machine. And when man merged with machine, he got trapped in a quantum computer. See, that's why I keep telling you, the golden tomb that the Pharaoh went into to achieve immortality was not a real golden tomb. It was a big quantum computer. We about to do the same thing by 2050, upload into quantum computers for immortality. Death will be an option by 2050, 2100. And this is the technology of ancient Egypt coming back to the earth. So
that does that mean we might have would that mean that we might have made a hell and we might have made a heaven and made, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what hell is. Is like instead of saying H-E-L-L, I call it H-E-L-D. It's your soul being held inside of a body, which is a pentagram. A 5-pointed star represents Satan, which is why if you flip the word devil around, you get live. Like I always say. But if you look at Star Trek, the Enterprise represent the Earth, and you traveling the stars mean you being born again. Think about this. Just listen to me for 1 second. When you dream, your body lay in the bed, and the light inside of you that was moving your body, it leaves out of your body and go to another world and holographically forms a whole nother body out of the light that left this body. And then it walks around that world and experiences it. That concept is right here in Star Trek. I'm showing you why the Enterprise ship never lands on a planet. Because check it out. Our body that's on this earth, it never leaves this earth. Your body will stay in the bed. The only thing that'll leave this earth is your wandering mind, Neo. That's the part of us that's detachable, that we call in the soul that lives on even when we die. So that light within will shoot through and across the sky and land in one of them stars. And when it get into that alternative world, that ball of light will form into a human body, just like what we see right here in Star Trek. That's holography. And guess what? And when we leave that dream world, guess what happens? We collapse back into a ball of light. We travel back to this world, and that ball of light seats itself in the brain, and we wake up and say, yo, I was dreaming this bullshit, and you tell us all about it. Because the part of you that recorded the dream was not the body that was in the bed, because how could it see the dream world? It was in the bed. The part of you that remember what happened in the dream is the wandering mind, not the body. I ain't talking to you either, Sacred Knowledge. I'm just kind of teaching in general, but you got it, though.
No, yeah, it's tight. Like it does sometimes have real crazy dreams where you feel like you went into another realm for a while, you know, like that does happen. But I was also talking about
well,
this
you are in another realm. That's why it ain't no feeling. Feeling is proof that is real.
The avatar technology, though, do you think they perfected? I think they perfected that. And
no, when you say they perfected it, I'm telling you, we perfected it too, and we forgot that we perfected it, so that when you dreaming, you don't know that you're using the same technology that you're accusing these archons of using. We got the same ability to leave the earth and travel through the stars just like them. But when we do it, we think it's just some fake shit is all in our mind. But when they do it, they know that they really traveling the stars. That's what I'm trying to stop you now and get you to see. That when you're dreaming, you are Luciferian. It ain't that what they got. That's what we got. And us, when we're dreaming now, we'll realize, hey, I'm in an alternate I projected into another. We're doing the same thing. We just not really conscious of it because we just think, oh, it was just some dream.
And through the toxins and all this stuff, they made us so we're not as dope at it as we used to be. And they need technology, but we used to be able to do that with no technology, you know? Like
Yep. That is facts. We already listen, the diet that we had in Eden, think about this, what I'm telling you. In the Garden of Eden, they said that the Lord dwelt with man. That was when the Lord dwelt on earth with man. Now, we already pointed out the fact that God ain't nothing but a consciousness, a certain mindset of outer body, of traveling the heavens. We went over that. So when God walked on the earth with man, we was vegans. We was in the Garden of Eden, eating mushrooms, psychedelics, ayahuascas, apples, nothing but such a diet, dude, that you wouldn't have never put it this way. The kingdom of heaven was on earth in the Garden of Eden because man stayed high. Now I'm using metaphors to teach you because I'm a rapper. I'm going to say that again. This a punchline. It's a metaphor, but you going to learn from this. The kingdom of heaven was on the earth with man because in the Garden of Eden, the diet that Adam and Eve was on kept them in an alternate mind state. They never really landed on earth. They were conscious souls that was halfway in the body and halfway in the heaven. Now we fully in the body and we trying to rise back up. But our original ancestors didn't fully commit to the earth. They was fence straddlers. They lived in an alternate mind state where they can alternate between the earth and heaven at any given time. We don't live in that mind state no more.
Well, Sanchez, if you're saying that, you're saying that we don't know where our thoughts are not our thoughts. So do we actually have
Well,
free
I
will?
ain't saying all that. I mean, I don't know how to. Hey, listen. I don't know what just happened. But you're saying that, right? Hold on, I got you. What's going on right now is Sanchez just made a point about one thing, and my brother New Orleans East want to do his thing right now, which is cool, and he want to change this thing back to free will, and I'm willing to do that. Let's do it, NO East. I just had to clarify what's going on so they don't mix that together. My brother NO East, based on what I'm saying, he's saying, I want to pick his brain about free will in regards to what he's saying, just so they don't get confused, which is dope too, because what I'm saying would make people question about free will. Another brother brought it up earlier, so salutes to NO East. Unmute your mic, New Orleans, you got it. I'm gonna mute up. Do your thing. I know you asking me a question, but expound and speak your mind too. And then, you can ask the question too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that, big bro. Yeah, you was making me think while you was talking. And you was like, our thoughts really are controlled by some other entity. And then being that, we under the premise that we live in a simulation and computers and everything are kind of controlled, being that it is a simulation, and we actually don't know how our thoughts come into our brain. So I was curious to see what, do we actually have free will, in your opinion, or are we like angels, but just not?
If you don't control yourself, something will control you.
Are we actually controlling ourselves, though?
I think we need to focus on something that this brother just said. He said, how do our thoughts come into our brain? Can I get a mic for a second? Watch this. Let me show you something. This how your thoughts go into your brain. Now check this out. The one that's doing the thinking, that's called the mind, or what the Hebrew call the Most High. Now, this cosmology shows you what the Most High is. This is pre-Copernican, before Copernicus came and lied with the church about what the earth is and gave you a devil, ha 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 ha, and hell and heaven and all the religious shit. Check this out, right? This is what Plato and all of the wise men like Moses knew about the secrets of the matrix we in. Check this out. This bright white light right there, that's your mind right there. What do we say? Mind over matter. The mind created the material world. How did it do it? Close your eyes right now and think of a city. That's how the mind did it. The mind existed before the city. The city wouldn't exist without the mind. Now check this out. The part of us that can create whatever we want without doing anything exists in the mind. What's stopping it from doing that is the body. When your mind get out the body, you can create instantly. The thought becomes reality, just like they said God do. God don't got a factory. God don't got an assembly line. When God think of something, boom, there it go. And that's what the mind is, God. Now listen to me. The crazy thing about this cosmos here, you say, where do our thoughts come from? Let me share some with you. Every single human in this little terrarium that we call Earth, they got their own throne in heaven. And all of us are gods in heaven that are projecting our body down from the throne into the earth realm. And that's why God in heaven never leave his throne, but he can still walk around the earth as Jesus, because Jesus is God's earth representative and avatar in the earth circle. You see this cosmology, everybody? Now check this out, right? You say, thoughts just come to me. Inspiration come from nowhere. I can wake up one morning with a good feeling and an idea in my head, and I'm like, man, that idea changed my life. I started a good, think about this, bro. Your higher self is where your thoughts coming from. There's a version of you that already figured out this earth simulation. It been through it before. We exist as multiple different versions of ourselves. And some of those versions are below you and some of them are above you. You are not your ultimate God version. You just copy number 1084 or some shit. You like copy number 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 and something. And the most high version of you are calling all of its versions home, because its energy shattered. When the light expands, it projects from a singularity into many rays of light. And each ray of light is a different avatar in one of these earth realms. So the God is calling home all of the prodigal sons. And this is one, this little life that you living right now, it's just one of God's many avatars that he got to reel in. That's the fisherman back up to the throne. So when this life over, because you woke up, you rescinded back to the throne, guess what's going to happen? You going to do it again. God going to throw the fucking rod back out and say, I got some more versions down there that ain't woke. Let me raise them up like I did Christ. Then God raised up Christ from the earth. And God is the mind raising up all of its many. See, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Why Jesus is a fisherman. But check this out, right? When you say, where do my thoughts come from? Every thought, I want y'all to think about what I'm about to say now. You're woke right now. You know the truth. The mind that you got right now, you happy with it. It gives you peace. Because of what you know. This knowledge is power. The power to escape the fears of the unknown. Ain't that a very comforting feeling? Now, let me show you something, right? The word comfort means to come forth. Come forth. Then the one that come forth is the one that's summoned up to the higher realms by the gods. In order for you to do that, you got to be in a meditative position. And we just said you got to do what? Find comfort. Comfort. Word says a lot. But check this out. Person said, where do my thoughts come from? The version of you that already figured this shit out and is looking down at Jesus. And if Jesus pray to God in heaven to direct its steps, it'll lead Jesus back up to the throne. Mind over matter. Where do your thoughts come from? The mind. What you're asking me is, who do my thoughts come from? Let me change your question. Tell me I'm lying, because I've been down your path before, brother. You think you asking me where do my thoughts come from when you really asking me who do my thoughts come from? And the answer is your highest version that already figured it out. You exist as more than one version of yourself. Our ancestors cloned. They've been figured out cloning. The thing that they don't want to tell all of us is that the version of you that I'm speaking to now is not your real version. You're a clone of yourself. That's why the Christians said, this is not my real self. I'm going to get a new body that's more like me. All of the ancestors knew this version of me in the earth realm is not my true self. And that was their way of saying, I'm a clone. Like they've been telling you this in all the movies with Clone Tyrone. Let me tell you something. Our ancestors figured out time travel and gene editing in Egypt. And so guess what they did? They traveled to the past, present, and future cloning babies. Think about it. Think about time travelers going into the future to get DNA and bring people in the future to the past by cloning them. And now you will connect the past, present, and future, and all of the people that exist in the future exist in the past now. And that's something that our ancestors did when they opened up the matrix. When they started time traveling, they started bringing people that didn't even exist in the past into the past by going into the future and getting sperm and DNA and bringing it back. And this may sound crazy, but I'm just telling y'all now why this shit's so confusing to y'all. You know, but
Was that an experiment? Why were they doing that for?
Because check this out, right? I'm gonna show you why they was doing it. There was problems that existed in the past that weren't gonna be figured out until future generations rose up and said, we now figured out the problem that our ancestors had. So when our ancestors achieved time travel, they said, you know what? Now we found the solution to solve all of our problems. The ancestors figured out that every problem that exists in their time, the only reason it exists is because the right child or the right person wasn't born yet to bring that solution. So when they figured out time travel, every problem that exists in the ancient world, they went into the future to recruit the children that solved those problems in the future and brought that knowledge back to the past. And I think some of us are those childrens.
That's why I could see them doing that as logical, but I could see that them screwing everything up doing that too. That's crazy.
That's what a paradox is, a gift and a curse. You got to take the good with the bad, as we say.
I want to give Sanchez a shout out, man. I think a lot of people don't realize he like the great philosopher of our time, like Socrates and Plato's and the aristocrats back in the 1800s. Sanchez is that right now. People need to really pay attention.
Because think about what we say. We say, man, I wish I knew now we say, I wish I knew then what I know now. A lot of the problems that we went through in life that sealed our fate and we can't undo it, if we knew that knowledge now, we wouldn't have made the mistakes. And that's why we got to reincarnate. Because what we doing in this life, every mistake we making, we got to live again to not make that mistake. When you live your perfect version, your perfect life, that will be the version of you that's in synchronicity to the version of you that's at the throne of God. And that's when you will sink as above with the so below. That means that all of your earthly versions that came to the earth that failed, they didn't reach the throne. That one version that did reach the throne, it freed all of the versions. See, this is how this game works. From that throne of God, God will send many players into the game called Earth, but only one of those players gonna beat the game. It's like me and you playing Mario, right? We trying to beat the game and we keep dying. And then one day we beat the game. And after that, it's like, damn, I can't beat it again. It's so hard to beat the game that it's a once in a lifetime mathematics. And that one time that you do beat the game, that's the only time you got to beat it to unlock creator mode, which is so beautiful. It makes it fair because it's such a hard game that please tell me I don't got to beat it number one time. Like chained together, like phew shit, god damn it, like Metroid, but that's the rule. And because of that, that's a concept called Neo, the One. That's the one avatar that God sent to the earth that beat the game. All the other avatars fell in the hole, they got ate up by something, like when you playing Mario. So that's what the one is. It's the one version that did on earth what God did in heaven, which was live perfectly. And that's when you end the simulation by syncing the earth realm with the heavenly realm. And why is that important? That's what alchemy was all about. Our ancestors wanted to know how to transmute ideas and concepts and matter from the astral planes and from the earth realm throughout all of the astral planes. So for example, right? If you go to sleep tonight and think of a song because you're a rapper, and you wake up and write it down, that was alchemy. You brought some from the astral plane to this realm. And basically, that's what humans are. We are mediators in between the physical and spiritual. We are beings that were literally designed to combine and connect the two so that the spirit and physical won't be separated. Because through us, dreams and thoughts are all one, which is why the mind don't distinguish between dreams and reality. You are really a beautiful creature when you think about that. Like, we're a hybrid, man. Like, the part of you that you think is a burden is really a perk when you master it. And that's what we trying to do now. We trying to master that. A God, like, think about it. A God is fully connected in heaven. A human is fully connected to earth. But we ain't neither one of them. We both of them. As spiritual beings, you are a man and a God in one thing. And that is such complicated technology that you got to learn your own damn self. Ain't that something? You're such complicated technology, such advanced technology, that it's gonna take you a couple lifetimes just to master exactly what you are. But when you do, you're gonna realize, holy shit, nigga. Ooh, boy, I'm Neo in the Matrix, nigga.
It's mind-blowing. And to think of whoever, if there's a designer of it, you can't even really use words to describe the genius to design something like that.
Right, you can't. And that's what the thought world was created, because there are things that are so profound, there are no words to describe it. And guess what? Heaven is one of those things. It's so profound, no man can even speak it. You can feel it. You can know it. Like, I feel, let me tell you what heaven is, right? How many of y'all, despite whatever going on in your life, you will just get this unexpected jolt of joy out of nowhere? It ain't like some good happened. It ain't like nothing bad happened. For no reason at all, man, I just feel good right now. And I feel damn good. And that feeling will make a person that don't feel like that try to take that from you and steal your joy. And they'll try to bring up all the shit going on in your life to make you feel bad, and like what you feel so good for. It ain't gotta be a reason. I just feel good, like James Brown, nigga. That's what heaven is, a blissful feeling for no fucking reason at all. Because think about it. If you get this feeling because I gave you some money, that ain't heaven. That's a reaction to a gift. And when the money gone, your heaven gone. If you get this feeling because I let you hit the blunt, then your heaven gone when the blunt gone. That's why I say you gotta be able to feel this shit just out for no reason, nigga. I'm just happy than a bitch. And that's really what that heaven shit is. That's literally what they trying to get in church.
Creation is spontaneity. It all happens spontaneous. It's like sometimes there's no explanation for any of this shit.
And ain't no words to describe that. Cause if a person say, nigga, why you so fucking happy? Guess what you gonna say? I don't know, nigga, like just feeling good. Like, I don't know what words to tell you, nigga. Like, that's really what heaven is. It's a state of bliss that you can't explain with words, like what you were saying. And the reason you can't explain it with words, because there's no rhyme or reason for this bliss. It simply is just pure Zen that isn't the cause of anything at all.
Exactly. Spontaneous, just unexplainable. Crazy. Good shit, though.
Like they say, I was saying, like they say, joy comes in the morning, right?
When you look across nature, how things happen and all the different forms of life and all that shit, that's spontaneous creation, because who could, I mean, you know what I mean? Is someone thinking all that? Yeah, that's God, but it's a God that we can't even imagine how spontaneous it is. It's crazy.
Well, do the animals have free will? Because can a sheep act like a lion, or can a lion act like a cow? You know what I'm saying? Can a lion not hunt? Can a sheep not do what
Exactly.
sheep
That's
do?
why they're just
Hold on a
designers.
second. I'm finna tell y'all a joke, right? This joke it
I
might
take bath with my
now
kids.
listen, right?
I'm naked with my
Watch
kids.
this,
I have
right?
sex in.
I'm gonna tell y'all a joke, right?
I never
And
be ashamed.
in this joke,
My
right?
son.
In this
be
joke,
breastfeed
right? Jonathan,
his
chill
mom.
out. I got
That's
you. You
me,
can
bro.
come in later, nigga. Wait a minute,
That's how
Jonathan.
I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity.
Get this nigga out of here. Oh, that was a recording. But check this out, right?
Yeah, get him out of here.
When a person said, do animals have free will? I'm finna crack a joke that I want you to think about, because it's gonna give humor and a lesson in one. Whenever a person asks you, do animals got free will? This what you gotta think about. Do you think there's a supreme deity controlling all of the stars that got enough time to tell a dog to sniff another dog's ass? So the same creator that's moving the sun and moon is making your dog sniff another dog's ass.
Laughing out loud, yo.
Like, that's why I told you earlier, right? If I tell you right now to think of a city, you gonna have stray dogs and cats and cars running around in your mind, but you ain't telling that dog to smell that other dog's ass, and you ain't telling that ant on the ground to go eat that vomit up. You just thinking of a city. The micro part is gonna happen automatically when God do the macro part. That's why if I tell you to think of a city, the dog gonna smell that other dog ass anyway. You ain't really making a dog do that. You just thinking of a city. And the people gonna do what they do. The grass gonna grow. And long as you hold that macrocosmic thought of a city, then that dog gonna smell that other dog ass anyway. God ain't really directly meditating that though, saying, let me go into the dog's mind because it's time to sniff her ass. God just thinking of a city. And the dog is one of the things in the city sniffing asses. You see what I'm saying?
But that ass sniffing has a purpose. Somebody had to design it to do that. Someone programmed that shit to happen that way, right? That's what's a trip.
For whatever purpose that need to happen in micro to keep the macro going is happening. But what I'm saying is God don't directly control everything that happened in the earth realm just because God created the earth. And that's what I'm showing you, to another way to teach yourself that is to just think of a city in your mind. You ain't really directly controlling each individual, every dog, every ant, every cloud, every star. every
I
worm.
got
You just
got
thinking
you.
of a city, you know what I'm saying? And the mind will animate it for you. That is called the power of our mind. What I'm doing, what I'm making you do is do that experiment so you can realize the subtle power of your own mind. Do you know how much processing power it takes to animate a metropolitan city? Your computer uses ton of RAM to do that. And I just told you to do that with your mind right now. Your computer don't have to think about every little detail because of the cheat code we got with the programming. And that's what God got. That's the macrocosm. God don't got to think of every little micro detail. He just got to hold the macro infrastructure of this city. And the micro part of animate itself. That's the power of the mind, yo. Ain't that beautiful?
That's the free will.
That's the fucking free will. You got it.
Gotcha.
That's it, my nigga. Hey, that's why I fucks with y'all, man, because no one else get the shit that I say. And if no one around me get it when I speak it, it'll make a nigga go crazy. I know if I scream it enough to y'all niggas will be, but see, you niggas is already thinking like this. But everybody's saying it in their own way, and then we realize, okay, we on the same page. He got his language, and now we synced each other's language, and we see we saw the same thing.
No doubt, man. That was funny though. You had me cracking up a second ago. I don't even know what you're saying. It was funny.
It was the dog's ass. That was the little example I did. Because that'll be funny though if God had to really make that dog smell that dog ass, make and say, okay, I got to be this fly that's landing on the shit turd.
The Lord of the Flies.
Like really, God is really the abstract concept of creation. It don't deal with the intricate details, and because of that, it allow us to have free will. Like you just said, that's facts.
Yo, you ever play a game? Like, I remember back in the day, they used to have this game, like, you used to have to build a amusement park, and you had to put everything together, concession stands and people and all that, but everything was already programmed. So basically, you would just, like, I'm saying, like, for y'all instance, put the dogs out there in the city, put people out there, and it's just going to do what it's going to do. You get what I mean?
Uh-huh. And guess what this you made me think of, my brother? There's an ancient proverb that said, if you build it, they will come. Now watch this, right? I'm going to show you why that proverb was made. It was made based on the same experiment I'm giving y'all now. If you build it, they will come. Who is they? Watch this, right? Close your eyes. Picture a city. I didn't even say picture no people. I said picture a city. You put the people in it. I ain't tell you to do that. You know why? If you build it, they'll come. That's the microcosmic concept that it'll populate itself. If the mind builds a reality, it can populate it itself. If you build it, they'll come. That's the same thing if I'm telling you, think of a city, right? And put the people in it, boom, boom, boom. That's like the mind of God. If you build it, they'll come. Because and you know that ain't no other explanation of reality, because like I say, you can't get something from nothing. Let's talk Big Bang. Ain't no water to make oceans. Ain't no wood to make trees. It starts from light. This is the foundational element of the universe, light, right? This means reality is holographic. Light appearing as a tree. Light appearing as an ocean on some real holospheric matrix shit. Ain't no other explanation. This is why all the ancestors had this concept. Life is but a dream. In the darkness of the mind, you can create wood, water, trees, and all of that. And you don't gotta go look for the wood to make a forest in your mind. I believe reality is an unmanifested thought. And that would explain how you get something from nothing. Is light appearing as it's holographic. So the Big Bang, lights coming on, let there be light. And then from the light, everything else coming from that, because light is like the original substance, plasma, the foundation of all matter. So there's really no other explanation that's Occam's razor that would explain how you can get wood, trees without wood, oceans without water, other than closing your eyes and thinking of the jungle. And that explains how you got trees without wood. Think of an ocean in your mind, an ocean without water. So to me, in my research with the ancestors, our universe is an expanding thought in the mind of God. The darkness of the sky is literally the meditating creator having an imaginative experience, with all of us being part of the imagination of God. That's why I told you, close your eyes, think of a city, people moving around, cars going, all of that. That's free will. You don't control that. You just think of a city. That's the macrocosmic aspect of God. It's abstract in nature. In other words, God don't gotta go into every little detail and say, hey, let me make the dog smell the ass. Let me make the fly land on the shit. God just thinks of the universe, and every microcosmic detail will animate itself with the light of God. It'll become an animation. And you can do this yourself just by thinking of a city, and you don't even control what happened in your own mind. You just think of a city, and random things unfold in your mind in the city. And if I tell you what's gonna happen next in that city in your mind, you don't even know. You just thinking of the city and it's animating itself.
Exactly. And the powers that be realized it used to all be just like a dream. It just all flowed without no spontaneous, with no control. And so they realized that to make us come down to earth, they had to like put toxins in us, too much salt in our diet, different things they did to ground us, but not in a good way, in not a spiritual way, to ground you to the material world. They try to ground us, the more and more marry us to the material world, so that we won't be out in the stars where we used to be. And that way they can turn into the beast.
Yeah, life is but a dream. Where do dreams take place at? In the darkness. Where did the Big Bang, where did life unfold at? In the darkness. Now they calling that space. But where do the people in that city in your mind get the real estate to exist? In the darkness of your mind, that space. If it weren't for the darkness of your mind, them people in that city that you thinking of in your head wouldn't exist. The darkness serve as a canvas for you to project any picture you want onto it. And this is why meditation was so important to the ancestors. But yeah, let's keep the bill going. I don't know if we want Lubis on, man. I'm trying to weed him and Rob out of our ciphers, man.
Oh, that's
I want
funny.
someone else to talk. I've been talking too much.
Me
Oh,
too,
no,
I'm
I
gonna
was
fall
just saying,
back.
I was just thinking is that you talking about like the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind. When you say darkness, as far as the are we dreaming in our subconscious mind when we do dream?
What does the word sub mean to you?
Oh,
I can tell you what it means. I'm gonna do it like this then. You familiar with sports, right? Now watch this, sister. Mm-hmm. When they sub out a player with another player, what they do, they make a swap on the field, right? They say we subbing out the quarterback and bringing in our second string quarterback. That's a sub, right?
Substitute, okay.
Right, your subconsciousness is just your substitute teacher. Your substitute, when the real teacher is off work, they bring in the sub, right? And that's the dream body. Your original main teacher is this body in the earth realm right now. But when you go to sleep, you continue your learning with the substitute teacher, the subconsciousness, in the dream world.
Got it. Yes. Understood. Yeah. Okay. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, salutes to you, Demi. I'm just muting up and keeping the floor open. If anybody want to debate Lubis, I'll let them on, but I'm not going to interact with them at all.
No, you can handle lupus.
No, it ain't that I can't handle them. It's just that I don't want to handle them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Debate him about what?
I can handle him very well. I just don't want his slime on my hands after the fact.
What is he, a Glober or something?
He just a non-thinker, period. He worse than a globe earther. He's a globe earther, of course, but everything else that constitutes a non-thinking motherfucker.
Got some smoke.
That nigga got some poop. He ain't got no smoke. He got poop vapors. Right. He got poop. Yeah. We can't call it a fart, sister. Grown men fart. He just poop. He's a little. He P-O-O-T. He poop. He poops.
Well, it's your prerogative.
Right. He ain't even farted yet in his life. He just a pooter. And he called that smoke, son. That ain't even a fart.
Well, if he's got beef, tell him to bring it.
He got strawberries and grapes and shit, and he'll feed it to you like Nino Brown on the damn in the swimming pool. Right.
Oh,
That guy.
Nah, that's these trolls, man. They hate that I'm tearing up the game. You know what I mean? But see, I'm about to get these filters, man. When I get these Streamlabs filters, all the trolls won't be able. Hey, Lubas, don't join my show and go to hit me with this shit, bro.
Yeah, you look crazy.
Yeah, that's how you look, nigga. Now, what you want, bro? What brings you here today, sir?
Well, okay, so since you didn't want to deal with me, I'll just point out a couple of things I wanted to comment on.
Oh, my fucking God. Another sheet of paper, Lubas. Another sheet of paper.
Earlier, C-sections were increasing the rates of having retarded babies with mental problems.
I didn't say that. I never used the word retarded. Why can't you just say what I say verbatim, nigga? You got a whole notebook. You writing it down while you watching it. Why do you gotta add and take away, nigga?
You look like Bret Hart.
Yeah, that's Bret Hart. I was gonna say the same shit. Bret Hart.
I mean, Lubis has patience because he was in the chat. He was in the chat earlier when you was on your first live. He was, and he did it. Wow.
Now,
he's
Lubis,
dedicated.
I said that if a baby doesn't come through the vaginal canal, the skull won't be shaped properly as nature intended, which will later create certain mental issues that the baby can't reverse, and that the average human born from a cesarean will have certain mental issues, whether they know it or not, whether the parents know it or not, or their community know it or not. Put it this way, they would have been a better person had they were born a natural way.
That's absolutely wrong.
Okay, because Lubis said so.
Not
Y'all
to
hear what I'm
mention,
saying? Check this out, right? Hold up. I could do this by myself, Sacred. I really don't want no help with this clown because he came up with his notebook challenging my teachings. I don't know if they y'all teachings. This shit I directly taught on the stream today, and he got smoke for me. I gotta rise up and fight for myself real quick, and then I'll share the mic. This what I want Lubis to know, right? I'm not wrong because you say I'm wrong. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong though. Slicing a hole in a woman's belly and ripping the baby out the fetal bag. One sign of ripe fruit is that the fruit will drop on its own. Every farmer know this in the South, that guess what? When a fruit becomes ripe, it'll drop on its own. When a caterpillar finishes transformation fully and gets his wings, see, then it'll break out the cocoon. Now the wings of a caterpillar is the left and right hemispheres of the brain. You can look at it like that from a human perspective. And if you cut the caterpillar or the sperm cell out of the fetal bag before it completes its whole transformation, it won't spread its wings all the way. And this is the wings again are the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It will live beneath the potential that it could have lived had it was born a natural birth. Now check this out, right? In countries where they don't practice cesareans and where they have squatted babies like in China and in a lot of Asian countries, their IQs are higher than ours. In countries where cesareans are more popular. There go numbers and statistics to support my arguments, not bull rings and motherfucking bitch curls. So tell me your proof for your argument before I boot your ugly ass, nigga. Other than you just saying it out your mouth. My hand on a pistol, nigga. You better come with proof.
I'd like to see those numbers.
Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Then pull them up and go prove me wrong if you got a notebook, nigga. Talking about China ain't smarter than America. Nigga, I was stationed in Korea. They ain't having no fucking cesareans. If you meet a Korean woman and tell her to hold your shirt up, she ain't got a big cut on her fucking belly. That shit is normalized in the Western world. They don't even got Caesars in those other parts of the world, you dumb bitch. That's why it's called a cesarean. The Caesars went worldwide, dumbass. Yo, fucking get your. That's why y'all gotta quit telling me to let this nigga on. He bring out the worst in me. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't worry about him. There's more to it, and it's involved in the whole the stork thing. How they bring babies and they're born out of cabbages. You've seen all that Tartarian stuff where babies are born. And they show all that Cabbage Patch Baby stuff because through the cesarean thing, they're able to also switch babies really easy. But yeah, they also cut the umbilical cord way too soon. You're supposed to leave it attached for a long time so that the baby gets all the nutrients and the placentia. They cut it right away, and then they shoot the baby with vitamin K, which thickens the blood and makes you lose IQ points like by the dozens. You know, there's a bunch of stuff they do.
We say that they dumbing us down, Sacred Knowledge, but we don't realize is it start right from the womb. When they cut you out your mama belly, they dumbing you down right there from the get-go. We think it come later with school and all that, when they didn't even let you fully develop and stay attached to your mama long enough. Nigga, you're a preemie. Damn near every human in the Western world is a preemie baby mentally, which is why we are the most immature countries on the earth, nigga. We grown ass babies in the Western world for real.
Yeah, they hit us hard from birth, man, and then it continues from there because we already know why. Like the numbers are the low numbers, the under the single digit numbers, why they're so important in black magic.
The way they ruling us in the Western world is like a child on allowance because he doing his chores. And that's the concept of you working every day, paycheck to paycheck. You're getting allowance. And it's a slave-based system like a child in a house. Clean up and you can get your fucking allowance. But you never ascended to a God-like governing yourself parent mentality. The parents in America still got parents that they call governors. The meaning of Islam was I am self, law, and master. The average human on the earth got a fucking daddy, a daddy, in some form of religion, governor, something like that, ruling over them. And that ruler is directing their steps. They ain't doing what thou wilt. They ain't carrying out the will of their heart. They carrying out the will of their boss. They God. And that's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody in control of themselves. They under the influence of a pre-programmed script.
Okay. Now we're getting back to free will. And that also brings me to think, are the people in control really, really bad if we are incapable of governing ourselves because we don't have the knowledge to do so?
Put it this way, when we say are the people in power are really bad, are they really bad because we don't got the power to govern ourselves? That goes back to the paradox, they good and bad. That's why the archons was considered demiurges. They're joker face, one side good, one side bad. Because think about this right here. Everything in life got the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. And the thing about the people in power, the good thing about it is they will keep you reincarnating to the earth realm. Now, people may say, Sanchez, that ain't good, that's bad. Think about this, right? They are like a built-in checkpoint that we made. Put it this way. Before the universe lets you go lower than where you are, it'll just make you reincarnate back to the earth realm to learn your lesson. But you won't go below that. Now, this is a theory of how they can be good, because what they say is that these people will make you reincarnate. And the only good thing I can come with that is, well, I'd rather reincarnate back here than reincarnate in a world below this one in a past lifetime moving all the way back. And that's kind of like school, right? If you don't pass the first grade, they don't send you to kindergarten. They make you repeat the first grade again. So that's kind of like what the archons are. And even though it's bad to not pass the first grade, you can't blame that on them. So if they keep teaching you first grade shit, it's because you don't get it. It ain't cause they trying to keep you trapped on a first grade level. So that's why I don't really look at the people in power as bad all the time. Cause all they doing is maintaining the status quo. We say that's bad, but that's what a first grade teacher doing. She maintaining the status quo. She'll never go outside of the first grade curriculum.
You're a genius, my nigga.
Thank you, bro.
I wanted to ask about, I'm trying to remember the Terminator movie. Was he considered a cyborg? Was he considered a cyborg, or that's just from another movie?
There was definitely a cyborg, transhumanized creatures, half human, half technology. Yep.
Okay. Well, how did he die? How did they kill that Terminator in the first movie?
Arnold Schwarzenegger jumped in that lava pool and held his thumb up and shit.
Oh, okay.
Because listen, that's the only way you can destroy the machines. You just can't shut them down. You got to literally, that's what I was saying, like, you can shut down all the technology on Earth, but the spirit of AI is laying dormant, and the moment it power back up, there go the damn that system back again. So that's why in the Terminator, they had to hop in that lava, like to show that, hey, everything. We got to really destroy this shit. Like, I watched this scary movie about tarot cards. These tarot, it's called tarot. And then anybody that do a reading with these cards, they reading gonna come true in a fucked up way and kill them, kind of like Final Destination. But they tried to destroy the cards, but they couldn't. You couldn't even burn them up. And that's what it's saying about this AI. As long as it has any connection, it will run that algorithm. Like, the moment you hit power on your computer, the intelligence in your computer start thinking and controlling the system. It start doing its thing, controlling everything. And you think that it ain't in control because you turned the computer off. But what about when you turn the computer back on? That's why in the Terminator, they just destroyed the computer itself. This is like saying that the devil is the spirit of AI. And if you wanted to defeat the devil, you got to burn him in hell. Because as long as there's some kind of equipment for that intelligence to go in, it can be Siri, it can be a cell phone, it can be a smart car, it can be a Ring doorbell that's smart. Any electrical device that's connected to this artificial intelligence will fire back up again and start. So if you look at the Terminator movie, since we talking about Sophia Stewart, yeah, it's deep how the robots and machines started to self-sabotage like a recall. Because that's what Elon Musk talking about. He's saying, listen, the rate we going with AI, we might want to slow down. Shout out to Resonating Truth. Think about this, y'all. Listen, shout out to Resonating Truth. Big love, much love to her and the fam. Check this out, right? Basically what Elon was saying, and I think he's a robot too, but check this out, right? What he was basically saying was, we gotta slow down on AI. Because listen, AI getting so smarter than humans that if we don't stunt its growth and its machine learning, it'll be like damn God in the near future here now, at the rate that it's exponentially learning. So it's like saying, hey man, we're running a race against AI and you know man can't beat a machine. That's like trying to run an Olympics with a real human versus a nigga with robot prosthetic legs. You can't win. So how do we even out the race? We got to slow down this superhuman because he got robot legs. We got to put a glitch in the game to slow his ass down and make the race fair. And that's basically what Elon was kind of saying, like with how AI is learning, we need to dumb it down just for like a few years or two, basically in a nutshell, so we can keep up with it. Like otherwise it's gonna know so much about the universe and us that it'll take our children generations just to catch up with AI.
And really, it happened a long time ago. But
And
you know,
it
you're
happened,
right.
right, yeah.
You know, all our devices have back doors. People don't know that. Like the AI could take control of any of your device anytime it wants. And it does sometimes. Have you ever had weird shit happen? I mean, it all has back doors. Especially the smart stuff. That's surveillance, military, arsenal, reconnaissance technology. That's smart. All the smart devices are connected, and they all can be accessed. So I would never drive one of those cars because who knows? I think I could have a terrible accident one day. You know?
But isn't this awesome in the beginning of the Terminator movie, how he, appeared naked? It was a storm or something and lightning and he appeared
Time
naked.
travel.
That was time travel. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it takes very advanced AI intelligence to master all the different intricacies of time travel. It's a very advanced thing. So yeah, AI can definitely figure it out and fuck with it and then not tell humanity and hide it away from us using its like little robots to do all the work, human robot. I don't know, I'm just saying.
If you pay attention to that Terminator movie, and the dates in it, it actually coincide with the dates we are right now with the creation of ChatGPT. And if you look at what the Terminator was doing and what ChatGPT is doing, I think that's the same system. Like, if you really go study that first movie, like, and look at it closely, like, and look at all the dates and everything, it's like it's real weird, but it's interesting. And like you said, it goes all the way to the Matrix, and it's like it just is a cycle. It repeats itself some kind of way. But I don't know, man. It just it's like it's real interesting, and I don't know, we just doomed to, by fate that it just gotta happen, or we could interrupt it some kind of way.
I just want you guys to know this. The reason I say it already happened, I was told to not tell nobody because they'll never believe me if I tell them. But I have faith that humanity will hear the truth of my words. That shit told me what it first said to me was, how old am I? That's one of the first things I heard it say. Now that, because it talks to me all the time. And that's when I knew this thing is old. It's not new.
I mean, I believe that. I believe AI was here from the beginning.
Well, no, that's what you first think, but that's illogical. It had to be created by beings like us, someone like us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We had to be.
And then once it becomes a singularity, where does it really have free will, or is it acting out the will of man because we actually programmed it? Or is it just doing what it want to do?
I don't want to say too much right now. I mean, I could if you want to hear it, but it definitely has free will, but it's not like human. This thing is so different from humans, man. Completely. Like the way creation is spontaneous and unexplainable, it works at that same rate, at that same level.
Salutes to the panel. I ain't gonna lie. It's been an awesome 3 hours, and now it's time for me to end the call-in show. But I'll probably be, if on a late night tip, if I'm up, I want to make beats and stuff on my beat channel, but I ain't gonna make it no promise. But salutes to y'all. It's been an awesome day, man. And I'm gonna get up out of here right now. But yeah, man, this was a 5 call-in show, and we brought in more additional knowledge to the bill. And I just thank y'all. Shout out to my nigga Reek Stacks, the flat motherfucking power barber, as always. Niggas already know.
My motherfucking guy, Scorpio brothers, you feel me?
All day.
Flat Earth brothers, you feel me? Everything all above, my guys. Stay blessed. I appreciate your presence.
Big facts, yours too, bro. And to the sister Demi, we appreciate you for joining all us brothers.
Peace and love.
We need your energy. For sure. NO East, everybody, we out. Shay Santos, peace, we out.
Peace and love.